Hi guys, welcome back to Hair Dry Treatment. Soph and Meg are back. It's not just Meg today. Unfortunately, you've got me with you as well, guys. But firstly, Meg, I want to say a massive thank you for doing that the other night. I mean, you did a great job. I know the response was very positive as well. Did you enjoy it? And how are you doing?
Thank you. Firstly, I just want to say thank you to everyone who was here in the last video because you can probably already tell that I'm less nervous, probably than not speaking at 100 miles an hour tonight. But yeah, thank you for such a huge response to the video. I've had loads of nice feedback from it, so massive thank you. Also, if you didn't see it, go at some point. Sophie just joined midstream, and my face was an absolute picture because I didn't see it coming. I was like, oh, he's here. But yeah, I'm back on this side of the screen. So that's all.
Yeah, back there. It's good to obviously be back on with you, Meg. Different circumstance, though. I mean, today it's frustrating. It does feel like a loss, doesn't it? To concede that late on and it being an away goal as well. We know how important that could be. I mean, it is gutting. I mean, I'll be honest. On the fair share of the play, you'd have to say Milan had some very good chances, and we were lucky not to concede earlier. But when you get to that point in the game, I mean, we've got to deal with that. I'm sick of us conceding off set pieces, Meg.
Do you know, at half time, I know it was 0-0, but I was kind of thinking, do you know what, if we just keep a clean sheet and just head out there next week, it's so important. And towards the end of the game, I think Robbie Savage even mentioned about, another clean sheet. Like, you can never speak too soon. And as soon as I always think, as soon as a commentator says something, that's it. Like, if you say, oh, we're going to get a clean sheet, we won't get a clean sheet.
Yeah.
But that's just so annoying because we've now got to go and score next week. And I just said to you off stream that with the injuries that we've got and the players that we're going to take, the way that they set up tonight, if they do that again next week, they're so difficult to break down. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough job next week. I know that our away form, and then, we back ourselves and we're away from home, but we've really got to pull it out of the bag. Now we've now left it to the fact that we've got to go and score away from home. So
yeah, definitely. Curler's made me laugh. I have actually just washed my hair and blow dried it, so that is actually true. That is actually true. Well spotted. But yeah, it's frustrating. Set pieces. I mean, a lot of people saying Henderson should have done better, and I do have to agree with that. I think he could have done better with obviously the save. He got a hand to it, but it wasn't good enough. But I also think the marking as well. I'm sick of seeing us. I was just not marking, to be fair. It's a free header. It's a good header, but we should be doing far more, really. And obviously, like I say, so close to the end of the game as well. You just want Maguire to be commanding, Boyer to be commanding, and just clear that ball at all costs. And I don't know what it is defensively. We just seem a bit shaky constantly. There always seems to be something, doesn't there? But it's not the end of the world. We have to obviously look at the positives. Ahmad's goal, I'll get straight onto that in a minute, because what a goal, by the way, and the assist from Bruno as well was fantastic. But yeah, we've got to try and look at the positives. We're not out, are we, Meg? And I think our away form as well is something that we should be feeling confident about.
Yeah, we aren't out, and I think we've just made it just life difficult for ourselves, like Manchester United do. I think it's just a very United thing to have happened to us that we decided that. Well, not we decided, but we let one in last minute. I do agree. I do think on the whole that they probably deserved a draw. I do think Henderson probably should have done better with it. Kind of wanted to make like a super save, and it didn't need to be a super save. It was kind of directly at him, just over his head. So for me, probably should have done better with it, but should have cleared our lines, and we didn't. And we had the scare from the throw in the first half that, marking wise, that we needed to have been better, and we weren't again, and it's cost us right at the end.
Yeah, I'm Blue. Thank you for the contribution. He says, "Don't tell me Harry Maguire is better than Lindelof again. Lindelof scored with the same chance Maguire got against Leeds. I'm not going to sit and compare players, but what I am going to say is, Meg, that miss. How is he done
already put it in?
That I don't get how he's done it. Like, I literally, that's harder to miss. I mean, that's harder to miss, isn't it? Like, how has he done that from that position there?
I genuinely don't know. And you know what's annoying? It's really frustrating, the fact that the commentator was like, oh, perhaps he was concerned about the post. And don't worry about the post, mate. Just put the ball in the back of the net first. Worry about if you're going to walk into the post afterwards. That ball's got to go in the back of the net. It has to. One of those chances that it's harder to miss than score, and he's managed to do it somehow. Maguire has done it.
Yeah,
I've got absolutely. There is no point trying to be. We know how he's done that. Analyze it. I don't know how he's done it. I don't know how he's managed to miss from a yard out. But that is Harry Maguire all over when he's in the attacking box.
Yeah, I was literally I was watching it back so many times, thinking, how on earth has he done that? Like, I just don't understand the physics behind missing the ball, like missing the goal from that close. I don't know if he's done it. I really don't. And to be fair, the post probably did play a pass in it, but like you say, you've got to be brave and you've got to do everything you can to put that ball into the net. And in the end, he's ended up in the net and the ball's gone God knows where. Like, it was just, shambolic. And also, Dan James had one obviously towards the end as well. Should have done better with. We definitely had chances. Like you say, AC Milan, when you look back, probably did deserve a draw, but we had enough chances to put that game to bed pretty much. It boils down to us not being clinical again, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's annoying because we could have sealed this tie up within the first leg for me, especially because we've got the games that we've got coming up, players that we've got out, and the fact that just in general, I think our players need a rest. So if we could have done what we did in the last tie, a good start in the first leg, relax a bit in the second leg. Yeah, okay, the 0-0 against Sociedad was boring to watch, but we didn't need to go out and be an incredible team. We were 4-0 up already. So, but now we've got to perform over another leg. We could have had this field done. Maybe I kind of, because the AC Milan's injury list, I kind of overlooked this game a little bit and thought, you know what? Even with the players that we've got out, we should be winning. We should have won. But yeah, we've now made it difficult for ourselves. We've got another game that needs to be won in a week's time.
Yeah. Hi to Connor. Connor, I hope you're doing well. That made me laugh. Ironically, a fridge at the back post would have deflected that in. Yeah, ironic indeed. But yeah, mate, obviously our away form is good. I saw a lot of people beforehand and even afterwards ranting, saying that was an AC Milan second 11. It wasn't their strongest team. But let's not forget we had some key players out as well. I think we really missed Rashford, particularly in that first half. I think we missed his runs in behind, missed that directness. Obviously, Pogba's out. Obviously, Martial got injured. We've got our fair... Cavani's another one. We've got our fair share, haven't we, who are also out not playing. Obviously, we don't know how bad the injuries are and whether they're going to be back or not by Pogba. But I'm hoping, Meg, that we do get some of these players back because I think, particularly in that first half, it all seemed a bit flat, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think that the players that you just mentioned, I think especially Cavani, Rashford, and Pogba, you've got players there that Milan came and they sat back, and we don't like playing against teams like that. We're not good at it. You look at the Man City game. Man City want the ball. Man City want to come and attack you. They want to score goals. Milan kind of said, no, we're going to be very disciplined with when we go forward, and we'll make sure that we've got enough players back. So those three players are creative players. Pogba in the middle, Cavani finds those little pockets of space, and Rashford can run at players because there wasn't the space in behind really. You were playing in front of their defence and need to be creative to pull players and defenders out. Intricate passing, little touches. And those three players are very good at that. Rashford's very good at running at players. Cavani, like I said, little pockets of space, and Pogba can find those passes. So for us, three huge players missing.
Yeah, definitely. What's your thoughts on the substitutions? I've seen a few people in the chat saying it's very defensive from Ollie. I mean, we were talking off air just saying that, like, Bruno Fernandes coming off, I was a bit baffled by that change for Fred. I felt like that took away our cutting edge going forward. So I just felt like Ahmad came on and we looked bright, obviously scored that great goal. I wanted just to keep that pressure on. And it did feel a bit like we were happy to just sit and take that one, didn't it? Which kind of played into their hands a bit.
Yeah, no, I haven't got any notes tonight. This is all I I think the change of formation surprised me because it's not something that we see a lot of. And when you are only 1-0, you haven't got that comfort blanket of the two goals. So to then just switch a formation and expect, and I think we saw that when the players came on, there was a few change of players in position. So Shaw and Tellez swapped, and I just think we weren't quite as settled as I think Ollie in his head thought we would be.
Yeah, definitely. I was just reading some of the comments in the chat. A lot of people think it was a handball before. What I will say is, if it was a handball or wasn't a handball, I thought their goal being ruled out for that handball was very unlucky, if I'm totally honest with you. Like I say, I think we were very lucky to go in when we did at 0-0. Like, I genuinely felt like we should have conceded a lot earlier in the game, and we got lucky in that sense. So it's hard to argue whether it's handball or wasn't handball, but for me, they deserved at least a draw. We weren't good enough tonight, and we got punished for that at the end. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. But luckily, we've got another leg to put it right, haven't we, Meg? We've got another game. It's not the end of the world, like I say, but it's just so infuriating when you concede so late in the game, because it does feel like a loss, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is a really interesting comment. It's only a game. Sunday's game is more important. Every game is right now very, very important, because a lot of people are judging Ollie, and like we said the other day, the Premier League, I think, for me, is where he will get judged on. But we got to the semi-final last year. We've got to be, our aim minimum should be repeating that.
Yeah.
And we want to be looking. We're one of the favourites in this competition to go on and win. We're one of the bigger clubs in the competition. We've got a lot of talented players. So I think he's now got to kind of not make a decision, but he needs to balance this out. Yes, I agree that Sunday's game is very important, because we're looking over our shoulder in the Premier League, and we need to ensure that those who are behind us aren't going to catch up any points on us. But I think this competition is also as important right now.
Well, yeah, obviously, as Ashley said there, United need the trophy. Every game should be a cup final. I agree. I think, obviously, we should be going for a trophy. We weren't good enough tonight. We definitely weren't good enough. I just hope that second leg we do come out. We could possibly play against Zlatan, which brings a different test for us. It's going to be a tough game. We've got to play well, definitely, if we are going to get the win at AC Milan, because, like you say, Meg, they're hard to break down. We need to be better than we were tonight. I'm just hoping that we've got players back from injury as well, and that we have a stronger side, because I felt today we were just a bit flat at times and a bit predictable. But let's talk about the positive. Ahmad's goal, the assist from Bruno, the audacity of the back head of the finish as well. It was just class, wasn't it, Meg? I was so happy for him.
Yeah, a great goal. I'm just genuinely happy for him. I've seen a lot of people saying, these kind of competitions and European nights, you want to see players like Diallo on the pitch. I didn't expect to see him at half-time, to be honest. I don't think anybody expected a half-time change. But he was busy when he came on, and just that little cheeky finish. And you've got players like Diallo and Shoretiri on the bench that their confidence hasn't been knocked. So they will go on and try these things. Someone just put, United have tweeted that goal, actually, and it's very, very similar. They've put this goal on the page, so they've just said, we'll leave this here, and it's very, very similar. But yeah, players like that who haven't been knocked in confidence will come on and try those things.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of people believe that obviously we need Pogba back, and I do think we've lacked that creativeness in the middle as well, haven't we, Meg? I think we have definitely missed Pogba. George says McTominay, Matic and Fred play like free blind mice for their passing. Passing wasn't very good tonight, was it? So many times, again, particularly in the first half, trying to pass between the lines, they were under hit, they were being intercepted, they were just telepathing where they were going to put the ball. Like, there was just no disguise on the passage. We were just so predictable, weren't we? And I do think we do miss Pogba and his creativity in that middle, Meg. And I know you're a big Pogba fan, so you'll agree with me on that one.
Yeah, I just think, like I said before, his kind of range of passing as well is a lot better than the other three. Whilst we're talking about midfield, now this is an important topic. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter. Soph, name the three numbers that play midfield as a triangle for you.
For me?
Yeah, so what, like your shirt number, what did you used to wear?
8 I wore.
So, but what's your...
Or 6.
Because in my head, and this goes out to everyone in the comments now, because for me, number 5 and number 6 are centre backs, and number 4, 8, and 10 are the midfield 3.
Yeah, but
I need to know what everyone else, because I play number 6 as a centre back, or when he's playing number 5, number 6
as a CDM before as well.
See, I would say 4 as your CDM, because then Savage was talking about we need a creative number 6, and I was like, a 6? I was like, not at a centre back, but yeah, for me, your 4 is your central defensive midfielder. Your 8 is your box to box, and your 10 is your in the gap playmaker.
There you go. Yeah, definitely. Pogba kind of changed that, didn't he? Every CDM wanted to be a 6, and Pogba came back as number 6, didn't he? There's Luke said that as well. I think that's what it is. It's more of a trend thing, isn't it? But
I needed to get that in there. Maybe I am completely wrong, but I needed to have that conversation.
It doesn't mean anything nowadays, does it? I mean, Kessie, what number was he? 79 or something like that in that game. What a player, by the way.
Actually, as well. What a great game he's had tonight. He's done himself some favours in the for players ratings.
Yeah, and to be fair, the goal I thought for Kessie was unlucky. It wasn't a clear handball in my opinion. I think he's very unlucky. It was a great finish, but obviously I'll take it.
No one appealed, and that's the thing. We thought we're doing clear and obvious.
Yeah, true.
I really need to speak to somebody about this whole clear and obvious rule because it's just not working for me. No one appealed. A great goal for him. Obviously, I'm quite happy that it got ruled out. But as just in football in general, what's happened to it? Why are we going down this route with VAR?
I know. Guys, obviously in the chat, get involved. We are going to go through the player ratings. So yeah, let us know in the chat. Obviously, me and Meg quite often sit on the fence, so we'll need some assistance with some of the numbers. Obviously, I'm going to get straight in, Meg. Dean Henderson. A lot of people think he's at fault for the goal. I think he got quite lucky in the first half as well. He was out of position. I think he was near the edge of the area, and their player picked up the ball. And if he was more aware, he could have quite easily put it over the top of him. Wasn't his best game, was it?
No, and I think we've seen him keep a lot of clean sheets at the moment. We've seen him command his box, seems to be playing with quite a bit of confidence. So I thought that was the player ratings. I was like, a 1? But yeah, for me, not his greatest game.
See, a 5 would be an average. Because of the way that the goal went in, do you give him a below an average? I don't know, because it wasn't like a clear error, wasn't it? You just thought for a goalkeeper of his calibre, you would expect him to do better with that. For me, obviously, the defence needs to do better as well to cut out that. Yeah, but I don't want to be too harsh. I think a 5 would be fair, average.
Yeah, and I was going to say to you because I think he's made one mistake, really. I don't think his other play was great, but he didn't make a massive mistake. And this is where I think, we say we sit on the fence a little bit, but I think actually we're just realistic in terms of we're looking at the game as a whole.
Yeah.
Just because you make one mistake doesn't mean you go from a 10 to a 0. But yeah, just his whole play for the full 90 minutes, I would say was pretty average.
Yeah, I agree. Average 5. I don't think you should get any higher than that, though. Wan-Bissaka, obviously right back. A pretty quiet game, really, I thought, from Wan-Bissaka.
Quiet, but can we talk about Wan-Bissaka and Bailly together? Because
his pace at times, to be fair, on that side helps.
I feel like
Diallo try and run past him a few times, and I thought, Diallo, you should know better than to try and do that. Come on, mate.
I feel like Bailly and Wan-Bissaka. Actually, I just feel like Bailly complements a lot of players that play around him. I think he complements the Bailly-Maguire partnership because Bailly's that more kind of on the edge, a little bit more aggressive, and I think Maguire kind of plays the same. He's a little bit more aggressive and plays a little bit more higher when Bailly's next to him. But I also think that Wan-Bissaka, just the pair of them together, is such a solid right-hand side. Literally, no one's running against them. No one wants to go and run against Empire because you won't beat them. Yeah,
totally. I agree. A lot of people saying a 6, solid game. Obviously, didn't go above and beyond, you'd say. But I think he had a fairly decent game. I think a 6 would be fair for Wan-Bissaka. Would you agree with that one, Meg? 6. And thanks to everyone in the chat, obviously, for helping us out and getting involved as well. Harry Maguire?
What was a 6? Yeah. Who are you going for? Bailly or Maguire?
Whichever one you want to do. I want to get Maguire's out of the way for that miss, if I'm honest. But we'll start with Bailly. We'll build the suspense. We'll start with Bailly. How do you think he did?
Bailly, I think he did all right. I just love the fact that he's just anywhere and everywhere on that pitch. He just pops up randomly. I don't know which player had the air shot of the volley, but Tellez went sliding over to block it, and then you just got Bailly in the background that kind of just sits on the floor after he's had the air shot. Someone will find it. Someone will probably have clipped it already. He's a bit of a madman. I just still love him. Probably 6.5.
6.5 isn't bad. I thought you gave Henderson a 1 then. I was like, what? Boye gets a 6, so didn't really put a foot wrong. Yeah, I thought a 6.5 is fair. Ryan said a 7.5. He was good again. He has to play more. I think his pace at times when Diallo, and I forgot who else was playing on the left for Milan, or Milan, as Savage kept saying, which is getting on the Milan. But on that left-hand side, and to be fair, it probably is pronounced like that, but I'm from Wolverhampton, so my accent's all over the place. But on the left-hand side, I felt like Wan-Bissaka and Boye, like you say, their pace, like it's very rare they're going to get beaten. If someone gets the edge on Wan-Bissaka, which is unlikely, Boye is very good at sweeping up as well, isn't he? I think they're a very good duo, very strong, and like you say, hard to get past. So I think he did well. I think he had a pretty solid game. 6.5, I think I'd agree with that. I don't think I'll push him as high as 7.5 because we conceded, but I'm going to say 6.5, I think, for Boye.
I'm going to answer this, so sorry, just very quickly. Boye. All day.
Yeah, Boye. Definitely.
I think he's just got the pace. He's just got the pace to clear up any of my errors. Not that there would be one, obviously.
Yeah. And then again, though, I've been nervous, though, like someone said earlier, when he's doing his Cruyff turns, and that would give me a bit of a heart attack next to me, to be fair. But yeah, definitely Boye for me. Harry Maguire.
I mean, Ross has put in a 6.5.
I'm being totally honest. I don't think Maguire had a bad game. He just missed a very, very bad chance. And I feel like defensively, and I'm not putting it all on Maguire, but I feel we need to be better from set pieces. And as captain, I think he needs to help orchestrate that a bit more, because that was pretty much a free header. And like I say, if someone's not doing the job, he's got to scream at them. So that leadership is at the back. We need to be more commanding. Like I say, I'm not blaming just him, but as skipper and being leader of that back four, I do expect more from him in that sense, because that's not the first time that we've conceded. We conceded one late on against Everton as well, where we're not switched on. We just need to throw everything and clear that ball last ditch at the end of the game, don't we? And we're failing to do that again. So I wouldn't say he played badly, but he did miss a very bad chance, Meg.
Yeah, and I think the volley in the first half, the defending was shocking. Jericho, he brushed his hand. But we've given him 5 yards, like a circle around him, like he's got COVID and nobody wants to go near him. We literally social distance away from this lad, because we just stood and watched him, half control it, and then hit it on the volley with apps. And Maguire, it was on his side. I'm not saying it was just Maguire, because McTominay and Matic were there as well. But just another thing that kind of he got let off on for that one. Yeah,
so Ian said there, Maguire 5, he seems to fall asleep at the end of games. It's becoming a bit of a pattern, isn't it, where we are switching off in these late situations, these late set pieces. If we do concede them, like, we're very on edge. And I don't trust us at all, if I'm honest, in defending set pieces. And that's something that coaches have obviously got to work on, because we don't seem to be improving at that, Meg. Obviously, I know we had a run of some clean sheets, and I have to say, against City, I thought we defended outstandingly well. But this is so typical of us, isn't it? To get such a great result at the weekend and then draw so disappointingly against AC Milan.
Yeah, and I mean, the title of the whole video is that it feels like a loss. And because of the way that we have conceded at the very end, it does. It's kind of like it brought you back down to reality. I think I opened the last video when we won by saying we are so consistent at being inconsistent.
Yeah.
And it sits very well with this, this result as well, that we're back again at being inconsistent.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll say 5.5 for Maguire. Which one should we go for?
This made me laugh.
9.5 away from 10. That's harsh.
No, I'd give him a 5.5.
5.5 it is. Tellez obviously came in for Shaw. Shaw, we know, has been absolutely outstanding. Tellez, I don't think had a bad game. I just feel like we really miss it when Luke Shaw's not playing on that left-hand side, Meg. Especially having Rashford out as well. It just felt really disjointed.
Yeah, it was like a completely new left-hand side for us. And like you said, I think we really missed Rashford. We really missed Rashford. But I think when you've got a player like Shaw who's playing so well and having such a good season, that you will, obviously we're going to compare Tellez to Shaw. I don't think he did too badly. But obviously you're comparing him to what Shaw might have done, and it's not fair, is it? But I'll probably give him. What did we give for Wan-Bissaka? 6.5.
We gave him a 6.
Okay, I'd give Tellez
the same.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, I think it was above average. I don't know what it is. Luke Shaw offers so much more going forwards, and we thought it'd be the other way around. We thought it'd be Tellers offering so much more. But Luke Shaw is much more direct with his running, isn't he? He's not afraid to run past the man. In the form he's in at the minute, he's just so confident going forwards. And you can't really knock Tellers because he hasn't had that run of game, so it's hard for him to find that confidence, I suppose. But yeah, I just felt, and it's horrible, isn't it, to compare, but Luke Shaw, definitely, I feel we missed him on that left-hand side today. And I don't think it was an awful game from Tellers. It's just our expectations at the minute are up here, aren't they? And I think Tellers, obviously, we got him in and we thought he's going to create so much more in that final third. He's going to whip crosses in. We just haven't really seen that. But I also appreciate we haven't got the likes of Cavani in there to attack those crosses. So that's kind of Tellers' main thing, isn't it? Whipping balls in for a striker, and we haven't got that natural striker. So I kind of understand that as well. Yeah, a lot of people saying 5 or a 6. I'd agree with that. I also agree with this. What did he create? I totally agree. But I think us as a team just didn't create enough, particularly in that first half. Like I say, we had a decent chance with Maguire, a ridiculous chance with Maguire, and then another one with Dan James as well. Like we had enough to get through this game, didn't we, Meg? But we weren't clinical enough, and we've got to be now in the second leg away. Matic, I'll start with Matic in that holding role. I mean, it's just so dross. Like creativity is zero, isn't it?
I'm not going to say that there are 2 each, but I mean, Ian's just put snails. It's slow. It was really slow tonight. And I expect more from McTominay than I do from Matic because of the way that McTominay has been this season. He's having a really good season.
Yeah.
But the pair of them together tonight was just almost like the game kind of like passed them by at times. I don't think McTominay was as high up as normal. I always say that I prefer McTominay in there because he kind of, that box to box, he pushes up a little bit higher. We've seen that a lot more this season because of the amount of goals that he's been getting as well. But yes, I mean,
it's hard for Matic.
When you say like obviously a 5 is average,
I think he had an average game, to be honest.
I think I'd put Matic as a 4.5 to a 5.
Then what would you give McTominay?
A 5.
So slightly more.
McTominay a solid 5. Matic a 4.5.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't think he really influenced the game a lot. I think, like you say, we were so slow in that middle. And it just felt like, I don't know, even the passes in between the lines, which Matic, to be fair, does normally do well. There was no disguise. There's so many times it was intercepted, it was under hit. We didn't move the ball quick enough through the middle. And I do think that's down to having Matic and McTominay in that central area. But I also don't like the balance of Matic and Fred in there as well, 2 left footers. Do you know, that frustrates me as well. So it's like, I kind of understand why Ollie put McTominay in, but it just felt, especially with the likes of Rashford, Cavani, Martial going off injured, it felt like creativity-wise, we really struggled until obviously Ahmad came on and scored that amazing goal. Bruno Fernandes, I mean, the pass for the goal, the assist, yet again, he's influenced the game. Yet again. It
was. He doesn't hold anything back, I've noticed, like emotionally wise. You know, if he wants to say something, he says it, doesn't he? And I think his body language, even towards the ref, at times, I want to almost say to him, just don't get yourself sent off. Like, I feel like sometimes he's going to talk himself into getting a card, and one day it's going to come him on his backside and he's going to get sent off for it. And I don't want him to curb his passion, but I want him to be able to control it enough that he's not going to end himself being sent off because we need him on the pitch.
Yeah.
And even if it is just for that one pass created our goal.
Yeah.
And I think teams are cutting in onto the fact that you need to be on top of him and not give him very much space because he can. Well, you had one chance, he shows you what he can do. Just pop up an assist like that.
Yeah, I think Nicole's on the gin. I'm joking. Hi to Nicole in the chat. Make sure you read her latest article. As always, amazing work from Nicole. Hopefully another Ladies in Red coming very soon as well. But yeah, Nick, thank you for tuning in and I hope you're doing well. And I'm sure you're just as gutted as us after conceding that late goal as well. 7 for Bruno. Curler said a hard to judge one from Bruno, 6.5 tonight. I mean, he has still influenced the game. George there said the 7 because it's not his best night, but he still gets a great assist. He's still involved in the crucial part of the game for us, isn't he? He's still involved in that. So I think you're right. Like, even when he's not playing his best, he's still impacting on games, isn't he? He's still making things happen. I actually think a 7 isn't a bad shape, Meg. What's your thought?
I'm as high as an 8, because I think for the majority of the game, he wasn't quiet, but he wasn't also like making things happen all the time, constantly. Yeah, I think probably a 7 would be sufficient.
I agree with that. What do you think about Dan James? He had a few little runs in behind, and he was offside a few times, which frustrates me because he doesn't need to be, because he's so quick. Like, he can literally give the defender an extra yard. But overall, I mean, he's getting a good run of games at the minute, and obviously with Rashford being out as well, and Martial possibly being out, it looks like he can obviously continue that run. But he did miss a very, again, disappointing chance, didn't he? Like, you expect him to put that away.
Yeah, and look, if it had been Rashford at the back post, I think he obviously would have got slated for it. But when you are Dan James and you are still trying to impress people, it's crucial that you put those opportunities away. It is a really bad miss. Difficult one. Again, you're right with the fact that, you know, he's gone too early on a couple of the runs. He doesn't need to. A few times, I think, as well, he made himself, got into the box, but there wasn't anything at the end of it. I would probably say 6 or 5.5, 6.
5.5 or 6. Yeah. I think I'm going to 5.5. I think it was just above average. I don't think he's playing amazingly well. I don't think any of our attacking players really played amazingly well. Obviously, Ahmed came on and scored. Bruno with the assist, but aside from that, like, we didn't really do well going forward, did we? We didn't look good going forward. Obviously, there are changes that were made. There's injuries that have affected that as well, which is understandable. But yeah, I think going forwards, I mean, we're going to get onto Greenwood now as well. Again, I think, to be fair, I think Greenwood looked more positive when he played through the middle. I've got to be honest. I think that he looks more comfortable through the middle. You can tell that's where he wants to be, isn't it, Meg?
Yeah, I think for just, it's difficult, isn't it? Because Martial's gone off, and you ended up with James, Greenwood, and Diallo, and the three of them are very young. Dare I say, inexperienced. Obviously, Martial, Rashford had longer time at Manchester United as a whole. So I think for them, you kind of got to play them where they are comfortable to try and get the best out of them in games like this. But yeah, Greenwood, that through the middle. We know that he can play across the front three. It's nice just to mix it up sometimes. You know, when you kind of stagnant in a position, especially tonight where we were average in terms of going forward, to try and mix it up a little bit. Curtis just put Greenwood never came tight until he played central. Sometimes just mixing it up, and allowing a player to kind of 5-10 minutes go at it in your preferred position. Yeah,
definitely. De Gea, thank you so much for the contribution, and you know, it's a very thoughtful one as well. And obviously, rest in peace to Sarah Everard. You've probably heard the stories in the news. Really traumatic story. It's horrible when you hear the story. But obviously, thoughts and prayers go out to obviously the family, and hopefully justice obviously can be made from that as well. But yeah, horrible news, Meg. Obviously in the UK following Sarah's death. Sad. Just sad. I did a tweet earlier about it. Like, I can't, and this is not me, I don't know, just saying stuff for views or anything like that. This is just me being totally honest. Since I've been born, I never remember the world being safe enough for me to be allowed to walk around on my own. Like, it's never been safe enough as a girl. And I'm not saying it's all blokes who do it, because I've seen this on Twitter. It's not all blokes, so we're not saying that at all. We're not saying that at all. We're just saying that the world is not a safe place. So it's terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Sarah, the girl, let's name her, Sarah was just walking home. And I think it's a very cruel world when you can't walk home and be safe. Yeah.
Exactly. It's scary, isn't it? I've seen people saying, like, they shouldn't be walking on their own at that time, but that's the point, isn't it? Like, why shouldn't you? Like, it's just horrible. And obviously, like I say, respect and obviously thoughts and prayers out to the family. But we'll get back to the football. Mason Greenwood.
Sorry, no. Arsenal just scored.
Who scored?
Odegaard, I think.
Oh, man.
No, but it's a good strike from outside the box.
Yeah.
outside the box.
Agree with a 6. Would you agree with that? I think when he did go more central in Meg, I think he did look, I don't know, more alert. He got on the ball a bit more. He looked more positive and more comfortable in that central area. Again, it was an amazing game from him, but when he moved to his more natural position, it did look a bit sharper. I think a 6 is a fair one, to be fair.
Yeah, we're sticking with a 6.
We'll stick with a 6. I mean, Martial, we're great basing it on one half of football. For me, he seemed to fling himself around a little bit tonight. I don't know if you saw that. There's a few times where I think he went down far too easily. He had that really good effort with his left foot. Technique was superb, and it obviously forced a save. But obviously then he got injured, so it's hard to say. But I think first half, I'd say it was okay. I just don't think we played very well at first half at all.
I was going to say, I think we were a lot slower in the first half. I don't know what Ollie said to them at half time, whether he'd had some bowl of the Weetabix ready for them at half time. But we came out and looked like wanting to play a bit more in the second half, and therefore you can, like, I was sitting there thinking, Martial, Christ, like, what did we even do in that first half?
Yeah.
We as in, like, Manchester United as a whole weren't great. We were much better in the second half when, not saying that because he went off, but just in general, our play was a little bit quicker. A 4.5.
We're basing it on one half of football, aren't we? That's the same harsh, but
average half of football from the whole team, and like when
I'm going to give him a 5 because I feel like it's harsh to mark him under average when he's only had a half of football. He did have a decent effort. I didn't like the fact that for me he went down a bit easy at times, but like I said, I think as a team he didn't really have much service. We didn't play very well going forward, so I think I'm just going to give it a bang average. When he went off, to be fair, it was still 0-0 at that time, wasn't it? So yeah, I think I'll give a 5, very average. And we get to the subs. Obviously, Ahmad was the first one to come on, and he's the one who made the real impact. The goal was fantastic, and he looks confident in his general play. I think he looks like a really confident player.
So this is the thing, isn't it? I was saying, like, I don't feel like they've had an opportunity for their confidence to be knocked. Yeah. So the new players will come in and just play and just do what they want. Like, not do what they want to do, but just go out and play football. It's very simple, isn't it? To just say, just go and play football. But when you have got short of confidence, it's not that easy. And these players, they're not short of confidence. They will just go and do that. Great finish. Just the awareness to be able to do it and pull it off and try it.
The run as well.
Yeah, someone's put greatest day ruined. It did take a bit of. I'm sure there will be plenty of goals from Ahmad in the future.
Yeah. I said he looks cocky. Ahmad, I like the confidence though. He's got that bit of arrogance about him, and he's only young. I mean, if he pulls off goals like he did tonight, if he keeps that up, then he's got a reason to be cocky, to be fair. But I just think the way he came on, he was direct. Like I said, the run that he made, he was confident on the ball. The finish was superb as well. I just wish that Bruno was on for longer so we could see more of that kind of link up. Bruno went off not long after that. I just felt like it wasn't the best time, and I get that it's probably trying to rest him, like we've already mentioned, the big game at the weekend. But that game wasn't done and dusted. I think you can only really do that if we're 2-0 up, and then maybe you can take that risk. But I would like to see him on the pitch a bit more with Bruno. But obviously with the injuries, it might be a case that in the coming games we do see more of Diallo on the pitch with Bruno. But yeah, I think a 7 is a fair one. He came on and he scored our only goal of the game. And then you'd have to say that was the most positive bit of play we saw all game, really.
All game, really. I mean, okay, we could have had the Harry Maguire and the Dan James, but actually our best bit of play was that goal. So, again, we're basing it on half a performance, aren't we? Though half a game. You expect him to run around because he's not injured. He's not carrying any injuries. You want him to impress. But welcome to Old Trafford, Diallo. I can hear you a 7.5.
7.5, yeah. I think he'll probably get man of the match, if I'm honest, for that little bit. I don't know. I think because of the goal and the manner of it, I think he'll probably get that. From our ratings, I think there's not going to be anyone higher than him. Fred, he did when he came on. He gave away some silly fouls. I felt like he should have just ran it into the corner near the end as well. I just think it's stupid. We've said it many times, though, he doesn't look after the ball good enough when he's got it. He works so hard to get it, but when he gets it, it's frustrating. Like, he's so rash at times, erratic. He just wanted to be a bit more composed.
I mean, you make me laugh because it's literally like Fred and fouls in the same sentence. There's a shock because
It's even alliterative.
You know that it's going to happen. If I was a betting kind of person, Fred and a foul would be up there for to put my money on. But 5.
Yeah, I think average. Like, it frustrated me at the end. Just look after it, keep the ball. Don't need to try anything silly. Yeah, that annoyed me. Came on again. Another one I was surprised with. I get this probably obviously trying to rest him, but Williams, how did you think he did when he came on?
I didn't expect to see him come on, to be honest. But didn't overly do much.
Yeah. I think both of them, to be fair, even Shaw. I was just say even Shaw. I don't think Shaw even did a lot really as well when he came on. Like,
no.
So I'd probably say a 5 for both of them would be a fair score.
Yeah, 5.
Average.
Yeah, 5, 4.5 to a 5 because they just didn't really get into the game. I don't feel.
No, they didn't. To be fair, but
you put Fred is a trier. That's one word for him.
He tries very hard, definitely. Just try very hard. Connor said to me here about Ollie. Says, brought up with the Ollie stuff. Same man, we're probably calling him a genius against City. Players have to take the blame for inconsistency. Yeah, I do think some of the substitutions were a bit negative. But at the same time, if someone got injured like Bruno tonight, we'd have been probably cursing as well. So I feel, personally, if I was manager, I wouldn't have felt comfortable doing those kind of changes unless we were 2-0 up. So we had that bit more security. But it's easy to say that is after, isn't it? Like, it's easy to say that after we've conceded that away goal, because then of course you're frustrated and you turn to see what the negatives were. But if it had seen that out, you probably said it was genius from Ollie because he rested some key players. It just didn't pay off, did it? That gamble, that it didn't pay off, and now we've got hard work in the second leg. But I definitely feel, Meg, that we should take confidence in our away form and we're good enough to do it in Milan. Or Milan, should I say?
Milan. Yeah, I mean, we rely on our away form quite a bit, haven't we, this season? But I completely echo what you just said. I think if you don't take Bruno off, and for instance, that particular player gets injured, then the whole of the United fan base goes into an absolute meltdown because we're missing players already. The last thing that we need is another injury, and especially to the most influential player that we probably had all season in terms of going forward, definitely. So it's just a very silly error at the end that could have been avoided, if I'm completely honest. You know, 2 minutes after that, we go on. We take 1-0, and we had there next week. But yeah, it's one of those things. I didn't get the change of formation mid-game either. That was my only gripe about the whole thing as well.
Yeah, Ross said if Ollie didn't make the subs, people also say scared of making changes, you can't win. Exactly, I think it was a gamble and it didn't pay off. But like I say, we're lucky that it's over 2 legs. We're not out of the tie completely. We're good enough to definitely score away. And away form is something we need to take confidence from. And yeah, we're still in the tie. So it's not an ideal situation, but we're not out. So I think we need to take confidence from the fact that Emma came on and played well. We had certain players who were out and hopefully they'll be back for next week. We weren't at our best. We've still got gears that we can go up as well. So the fact that we're still in the tie, the fact that our away form is so good, the fact that we've got players yet to return, I think, Meg, we should feel confident going into it. It's going to be a tough one and we need to bring our A game, definitely. But you can't rule us out.
It will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see this time next week what we're saying. Because if we go there and we don't perform, you're going to look back at that last minute of this game and say, it's cost us hugely.
And the Maguire chance and the James chance and the substitutions that were made. We're going to look at all that.
Yeah, so it's a huge game next week. It's going to be really interesting.
It is, definitely. Guys, as always, been an absolute pleasure. Meg, thank you so much for joining me yet again. Unfortunately, it wasn't to discuss a win, but it was to discuss a good Ahmed goal at least, so we can smile about that. Meg, chase out your socials. Let people know where they can find you.
I am at Megan Can with an underscore, and of course on here. Hopefully, we'll be back with a link in red at some point. Just need to discuss a date.
Yeah.
And we'll be back around the game on Sunday.
Definitely. I'm not in London this weekend. I'm here for the game. I'm at home, so that's good. I can chill and watch it, and hopefully it'll be a positive one. Twisted, thanks for reminding us. We haven't rated Ollie. We've got to rate Ollie. I didn't personally agree with the changes. I did feel it a bit negative. I do appreciate that he didn't have many attacking options to choose from, and obviously injuries are unfortunate. I'm going to say 5.5 maybe, because we're still in the time. We're not 8-bit, but I just don't think we were at our best.
We'll go for a 5.5.
There you go, guys. 5.5. Make sure you go and follow Meg on all her socials. Obviously, like Meg says, we'll be back with a ladies' event very soon. I just need to message the girls and see if they're available. And obviously, Sunday we'll be back with a cool down discussing the game against West Ham. But until then, guys, keep smiling, stay positive, and we'll see you soon.